What if I told you guys that there's a way to get free caffeine and antioxidants in the same plant? Well, it's growing all over the place in the southeastern US. This plant is abundant, grows like a weed, and the best part is it's free. So within this massive false roselle plant, I have another wild edible, Yaupon Holly, scientific name Ilex vomitoria. This little shrub here is native to North America. It's the only native plant that contains caffeine in North America. It is basically North America's version of Yerba Mate. I don't buy my tea anymore as far as green tea or black tea goes because I've gotten very fond of this plant and it makes a great tea. So I'm going to go over a couple characteristics of Yaupon Holly, and then I'll show you how to harvest the leaves, dry them, and make a tea. Real quick, I'm going to announce a little giveaway that I want to do. I have a bunch of Seminole pumpkin seeds from some of the pumpkins that we harvested not too long ago. If you want to enter for a chance to win a pack of Seminole pumpkin seeds, then you got to do these simple things. I need you guys to leave a comment and say I love seeds and tell me why you like Seminole pumpkins, and then also like this video and subscribe, and that'll enter you for a chance. I'll do a random raffle about 2 weeks from this video dropping, and then announce the winner in the comments. Just leave me a comment, say I love seeds, like the video, and subscribe. And if you guys don't know what Seminole pumpkins are, they're a great addition to your garden, food forest. They're a great ground cover, and the pumpkins are just delicious. So intermixed with all these beans right here, I have some Seminole pumpkins here that I started from the seeds that I'll be giving you guys. And yeah, they're really delicious pumpkins, one of the best ones I've had. That said, I am going to start selling seeds on Etsy as I get them. So Seminole pumpkin seeds, I'm going to have a ton of pigeon peas coming up here soon. My pigeon pea trees are enormous. They're going to start blooming here in the next couple months, and those will be for sale. I'm hoping for other things like moringa, Barbados cherry, so I got butternut squash growing. So there'll be seeds. I'll put a link to my Etsy store in the description of this video. You guys should check it out periodically and see what I got. So right now, Seminole pumpkin seeds. Go check it out. Native Americans have been using Yaupon Holly for thousands of years as a beverage. They make tea primarily out of it, and early Spanish colonists would drink the tea along with the Native Americans. So as far as caffeine content in this tea, it contains about the same amount as Yerba Mate, which is about 40 milligrams of caffeine per cup of tea. It's also very high in antioxidants, which is great for cardiovascular health, anti-cancerous properties, and also to help lower your blood sugar. And unlike regular, black and green tea, Yaupon contains almost no tannins, so it doesn't have any kind of bitter aftertaste or harsh quality to it. It's very smooth. All right, so let's go over some of the basic properties of Yaupon. So the scientific name is Ilex vomitoria. That is primarily from the early colonists witnessing the Native Americans performing ceremonial and social festivities involving Yaupon Holly. So the Indians would make this tea, which the colonists called black tea, and it was basically very high concentrations of Yaupon, so very high caffeine levels, and they use this as a ceremonial purification, as a preparation for war, and as a purging effect. So when you drank this black tea in high amounts, it would basically cause you to vomit. So like I said, the Native Americans used it as a ceremonial thing, preparation for war, and get you really hyped up on caffeine. So that's how the scientific name vomitoria was added to this. This does not cause you to vomit. If drank in normal quantities, it's the same as drinking a black tea. Now, as far as identification, so it is a erect evergreen shrub when it is young, like this one, and it will eventually grow into a very large tree. Some of the trees can get up to 25 feet. The leaves are very thick, simple, and alternating on the branch. The leaves are rather leathery and vary in shape and size. They also, I don't know if you can see, like this leaf here is scalloped. That does have some scalloping around the edges. The flowers are very inconspicuous, and those flowers eventually turn into berries, which start green and then ripen to a very bright red. Now, the berries are poisonous. You do not want to consume the berries. The bark of the tree is very thin. It's gray, kind of splotchy, and smooth. So time of year, since it is an evergreen, it is available year-round, which is great when you need tea. I harvest some about every 2 or 3 weeks, dry some out, and I always have fresh Yaupon tea available. The range of this plant, since it is native to the southeastern coastline of the United States, it basically goes from Virginia all the way down to Florida, and then around the Gulf Coast all the way to Texas. The environment, it grows best in climates that have very mild winters and then long, hot, humid summers. So southeast of the United States. You can find it in the coastal areas all the way up to upland woodlands and then pine flatwoods. It grows all over the place up here in Northeast Florida. It is everywhere. You'll never, not have Yaupon Holly if you enjoy the drink. You can literally walk around your neighborhood and find Yaupon. So for the most part, it likes well-drained areas. However, it will grow along streams and woodlands. It is resistant to diseases. It is salt tolerant, and it is very fast growing. It spreads like a weed as well. Normally, you'll find them growing in thickets together and big patches of little Yaupon shrubs. All right, so this is the leaf, typical leaf of Yaupon. As you can see, it's a little scalloped, and it is edible as is raw, although it's kind of tough, but you can kind of suck on it just to get the flavor. But that's not what this tree is used for. It is used primarily as a tea. You can buy Yaupon tea at your local grocery stores. Yaupon Brother makes a product. However, I don't know why you would ever pay for this, because it is everywhere, you guys, everywhere. Don't pay for this, make your own. I'm gonna show you how. All right, so this is my giant Yaupon tree. It is easily, I would say, 20-something feet tall. And I don't normally harvest from this one because I have little shrubs that are at waist level that are easy to harvest from. And this one is already fruiting, so it's got tons of berries. And like I said, you do not want the berries in your tea, so trying to strip the leaves off while it's covered in berries is kind of a pain in the neck, so I would not recommend it. Go for the smaller shrubs and trees that don't have berries yet. I'm gonna get up here and show you a close-up of the berries. Right now they're green, but they will turn a very bright red. This is the Yaupon Holly with lots of berries. So you can see that trying to get these leaves off with all these berries would be a pain in the neck. So I would not recommend this. We're gonna go back to my little shrubs over there, get a couple clippings, and I'll show you how to strip the leaves off. It's very simple when there's no berries on there. And you can see why this tree spreads like a weed. There is this tree is just loaded with berries. And all these berries are gonna be potential Yaupon trees. So if you have one in your yard this big, they do spread like wildfire if you don't keep track of them. By the way, this is what the bark of the tree looks like. So like I said, it's very splotchy gray when the trees are mature. Very irregular when it grows, kind of twists and turns and moves, goes with the flow, you know. It's not straight up and down. So this is a much smaller bush. As you can see, it does not have the berries. So you can either take cuttings and strip the leaves if you want to keep it kind of small and pruned, which I would recommend because it does grow very fast and it turns into quite a large tree, as I just showed you. So if you don't prune it, you can just take your hand and just pull along the stem and the leaves pop right off. So you can collect the leaves that way. What I'm gonna do is take some cuttings to keep my little bushes kind of small, and then strip away the leaves, wash them, and let them dry. I'll take a little cutting here, and maybe a little cutting here. Get a couple cuttings. I have another smaller one here, but I think I'm gonna let him grow a little bit. Also got some pokeweed down there. Yeah, I'm gonna let him grow. Again, I don't consume this fast enough to warrant growing any more than 2 or 3 shrubs. But in a fix, there is a block away, just an empty lot with hundreds of these shrub-sized Yaupon plants. So do not pay for this stuff, guys. I repeat, do not. It is free. So after you have your cuttings here, all you're going to want to do is just run your fingers down the stems and strip off the leaves. So just time consuming, but once you get the hang of it, it's not too bad. You can strip a branch like this in a matter of a minute. I would recommend washing the leaves and then leaving them out into the sunlight to dry a little bit before you pop them in your dehydrator or your oven, whatever you're going to use. It doesn't really matter. I prefer, since I don't have a dehydrator, to put them in my oven at the lowest setting, and it kind of roasts them a little bit, gives them a nice flavor. You can steep the leaves green like this to make more of a green tasting tea, but I like mine roasted and dried. So I'm going to strip away the rest of these. I'm also going to get a few other ingredients from the garden. Like to add lemongrass and some mint to go along with this. It gives it a really nice flavor. So this is just some mint from my garden, spearmint and peppermint. So I'm going to kind of chop that up a little bit, add it to the mixture. You don't have to chop it too fine because after it dries, I'm going to pop it in the food processor and kind of grind everything up. Got some fresh lemongrass, chop this up. And again, it doesn't have to be too fine, but just kind of chop that up, mix it all in. Give it a good wash. All right, once you get it all washed, you're gonna wanna let it dry. Get all that moisture out of there before you put it in your dehydrator or your oven. And so I'm just gonna leave this out in the sun for a few hours, get all that moisture evaporated, and then pop it in the oven. It's Panther! Come here, kitty. Come here. Come here. There he is. There's Panther. This is Panther, our one-eyed kitty. He lost his eye when he was just a little baby. But he's all good now. He's a good boy. He's a good boy. Yes, he is. Yes, he is. We're making some tea. You want some tea? Okay, it has been about 45 minutes or so. And as you can see, the leaves are nice and crunchy and dry. You could just crush all these by hand, but I'm just going to go ahead and put all this in the food processor and give it a couple spins. You guys got to try this. I mean, why not? It's free. Get all that goodness. All right, let's give it a couple pulses. All right, that's good enough. Doesn't have to be that fine because it's a tea. It smells so good with that lemongrass and mint mixed in there. Can't wait. Okay, guys, it's time to try the tea. I just keep mine in this old tea container here. Works out pretty good. You can use whatever type of infuser you want. I got this little clamshell one, and I do about a tablespoon or about half a clamshell worth. And close her up, so bada bing, bada boom, and then put it in the tea. About, I don't know, 4 or 5 minutes. Let it steep. Kind of gives you an idea of the color. My infuser doesn't have a fine enough mesh, so you're gonna get a little bit of tea leaves in there. I normally use a French press for this because the mesh is finer, but you don't have to crush up the leaves as fine as I did, and it won't leach into your tea, but that is kind of how it looks. So give it 4 or 5 minutes. Our tea is ready. As you can see, it's a nice color, looks really good. And that is some good tea for something being free out of your backyard. It's actually really good as an iced tea as well. That lemongrass and mint really adds a lot of pleasant, refreshing taste and flavor. So I highly recommend this. Like I said, I don't buy green tea or black tea anymore. I just drink this, and I'm still drinking coffee because I can't kick that, but I'm drinking a lot less coffee now because of this. So it saves you a couple extra bucks every month not having to buy tea. Super good though, guys. Highly recommend it. Healthy for you, antioxidants. If you're interested in getting some free Seminole pumpkin seeds, make sure you do what I said earlier. Say I love seeds in the comments. You have to subscribe and like this video to be eligible, and then I'll do a quick random raffle and announce the winner in 2 weeks. So if you guys want this, some free seeds, why not? Comment, like, subscribe. Come on, guys. If you're feeling really frisky, go ahead and hit the hype button too. That's a new feature on YouTube. As always, guys, thank you so much. Link to the seeds that I'm selling is in the description. Thank you guys for watching this episode on Yaupon Holly. It is a very versatile, easy to grow plant that you can utilize for making tea. Give you a little boost of caffeine, antioxidants, all that good stuff. Alright, we'll see y'all next week. Thanks, everybody.